Hi class, I'm glad you're here. I wanted to help you get started a little bit looking at our Canvas course. When our course opens, you'll be at the home page. The home page has information about how to contact me on our many different available communication platforms, a link to our welcome video, which is not this video, and a link to our module section. When you first begin, you're going to be watching that welcome video and looking at the course syllabus, preparing for the syllabus exam or quiz, which is just a quiz to make sure that you've had an opportunity to look at some important points in the syllabus. I'm going to go ahead and go into our modules. You can either click here on the modules link or use the modules main link in the Canvas menu. When I go into my modules, I should start out seeing things about my course materials. I'm going to change to student view here so that mine will look a little bit more like yours. When you're looking at the modules, as you get started, you'll see there's some information up here for you from the bookstore about your course materials. And then in this link right here is the link to your main ebook. The ebook contains much more information than just the textbook. It also has online activities, problems, and quizzes. So this Cengage main link gives you an opportunity to go to the Cengage material directly and work on material through their interface. Additional information is available here in all of the Cengage material. You'll see that you have to view each of these items to get the maximum amount of information. Lastly, in this section is a link to download the data files that go along with the textbook. I'd recommend you go ahead and download those. They're good for examples and sometimes for additional practice. Now, the next section gives you some setup information. You're going to see, let me reset this student view so it looks more like what you're seeing your first time. It's the same, no changes. Okay, so in your setup material, this first section gives you things that you need to get set up right away, like Microsoft Visio. It's a diagramming tool, and we'll be using it for charts and diagrams throughout the semester, and Microsoft Access. Additionally, we'll see information about your study group, using Teams and using Discord in our communication software. For week 2, there is some additional setup information. You can work on that now, or you can wait until closer to week 2. I know that seems close, but we have a lot of work that'll happen between now and then. As you look through your modules, past the setup information begins our very first module's design activities. Each of our modules will be split up into a design activity and a coding activity. This very first module, the design activity, will be looking at module 1 of the Cengage information. And then the coding section for Module 1, we'll be taking a look at Access and Visio so that you can learn how to use those tools to move forward throughout the semester, being successful with tool knowledge in your tool belt. Now, as you see, the Module 2 items are grayed out. They're not available to me right now because I have things, prerequisites that I must complete in Module 1 before the Module 2 information will be available to me. You can see these prerequisites here on this module screen. I can tell that this item here, the Module 1 Design Summary page, requires me to mark the Done button to complete this module. So I do have some Canvas prerequisites I need to take care of. The first one will come up in our overview. Let's take a look at the overview document for Module 1's design. We see usually a visual to give us an idea of what's going to be going on in this module. This visual just shows us a basic database diagram, which we'll get used to looking at throughout our course. We do have some assigned reading for Module 1, our course syllabus, of course, Getting Started, that whole series that I showed you, and the Module 1 reading that comes with our Cengage material. You'll see the objectives listed here for this first module. And then at the beginning of our Canvas course, we have some reminders to remind you about those Canvas prerequisites. Again, this page requires me to click the Mark as Done button to show that I've reviewed the information. I'm going to click Mark as Done, and now I can click Next in Canvas. That'll take me to the next item in this Canvas module, which is the Module 1 preview. I can tell that this is going to take me to the Cengage material because it says this tool needs to be loaded in a new browser window. So I'll go ahead and click this button. Now, if I haven't already used that Cengage main course link, this might be the first time that I have to log on to my Cengage material. Now, because I'm using the test student account, I can't do that as seamlessly as you'll be able to. But when you first click on an item that has to do with Cengage, you'll link your Cengage account to your Canvas account if you haven't done that already in a previous class. Now I'm going to go to our Cengage material. And I have just used Cengage.com to access the material directly. You don't need to do that. I have to, again, because I'm using the test student account. Now I'm going to access our course. Our course in Cengage has been set up to have a default view of a rolling week view. Now the rolling week view shows us activities that are due in a certain week. It starts out as week 1 because I wanted to make sure the Cengage material was available to you early, but it's really week 2 where we get started. Now I clicked in Canvas on the Module 1 preview. So if my account were properly linked like yours, this Module 1 preview would load and open. All it is a listing of the objectives. So I can close that. That takes me back to this list in Cengage. Now notice I really have 2 different systems open. I have Canvas open, where I could go back and look at additional information. And I have my Mind tab open also. So I can move through the material using either of these tools. My Module 1 preview does have a due date. That's so that it will show up correctly in our rolling week view looking at our Cengage material. Now the next thing I see is our Module 1 reading, so I'll go ahead and click on that. That would be the same as if I'm looking at our modules and I am moving along past our Module 1 preview into our Module 1 reading. So notice that the items that show up here in Canvas that link to Cengage can be easily found on their own in the Cengage material. So our reading, I'm going to create a lecture video for this reading in another video so that this one doesn't get too long. This one should get us started then for your Cengage material. Each module will have a preview with our objectives, our reading material, maybe some videos that come from Cengage, maybe some videos that come from the instructor. You'll be able to tell the difference. Next, we'll have a module review, which is a PowerPoint for the module. So if you like to view material in this kind of overview format, you can do that. I don't know if mine opened correctly there. I'm going to try that again so that you can see it. So each module will have a presentation that is considered the review activity so that you can step through the material in a summarized fashion. After that, you will have some reinforcement activities. These are vocab, decks, and vocab terms. So you will take a look at those, go through all of the different vocab terms that you have for the chapter. Now you can create additional vocabulary cards if you want to. And don't forget that these vocab cards are out here and available for you to use for practicing. We do have a lot of terminology that'll come up in our class, so it'll make your life a lot easier if you're up on your vocab. Finally, I have our scored or graded activities for Module 1. We have a quiz, some problems, and a use it activity. Notice that each of these items has a descriptive piece. I'm going to take a look first at this problems. It says, before attempting this assignment, use the Cengage main class link, complete the reading, and the reading for this lesson, complete the review and reinforcement activities as desired. Answer questions 1 through 10. So this Module 1 problems activity actually has more questions than 1 through 10. So you want to make sure you're looking for instructions and helpful hints like this so that you can make sure that you don't do activities that aren't required for your grade. Now, the Module 1 problems, because it does have this additional piece of information, if you had clicked on that from Canvas, Module 1 problems, you would see that that information is displayed for you here before you go directly into the problems on Cengage. So just remember we have these two different platforms, Canvas and Cengage. We try very hard to keep them in sync. If there's ever any inconsistency, you want to shout out in Discord or Teams and ask for clarification, because I'm sure that you won't be the only one that is confused by any sort of discrepancy, and it definitely does happen. Now, we would finish these problems, then do the use it activity, then as a final activity for our module, we would come back and do the quiz. In the additional material for the quiz, it says that you will have 3 attempts to complete the quiz. Notice the quiz is timed, but it's quite a bit of time for a small quiz. So that's our Module 1 activities in a nutshell. It looks like a lot, but it's really just the objectives, the reading material, the PowerPoint, vocab terms, all of the resources for you are here in the module, whether you're looking at it in Canvas or looking at it in Cengage. Now, there are some additional assignments in Canvas that may not appear in the Cengage material. One of those being your introduction and your syllabus quiz. So You can always use the calendar in Canvas to keep track of your assignments. I'm going to make sure we're looking at our class. Yep, 250. And we can see all of the different activities and their due dates. You should be able to click on the assignment link here in the calendar and get to the assignment. Notice our Cengage design activities are normally due on Thursdays. Our week starts on Monday. And then our coding activities are due the following Tuesday. Now, I would recommend you have the coding activities completed over the weekend and turned in, but you have until Tuesday were you to run into some sort of delay or problem. That's going to put you off because that's only going to give you a day and a half then to complete the next module, which is not enough time. So the way the course should work, Monday through Thursday, you're completing your Cengage design activities. Friday through Sunday, you're completing your coding activities so that you're ready to start on the next Cengage module on Monday. Now, you of course can divide up your time however you like. Some activities I have asked for you to work with your study group. For example, the first Module 1 problems. These activities would be best for you to complete on your own, but then have a short, quick meeting with your study group to review your answers, talk about any areas that were confusing to anyone, kind of just make sure that everybody is having a good understanding. As you get into Module 2, again, those problems are going to involve more thought processes than Module 1, and there will be more opportunities for you to talk things out with your study group and discuss different designs and different things that you notice. In Module 2, again, you'll do your Cengage activity and then a coding activity where you'll be working with the SQL Server, getting some hands-on experience with coding SQL commands. That's it for this video. I will record something for us for our different modules lecture components. Thank you.